is here to stay, Obama says.
Yeah.
In Washington today, President Obama said the Supreme Court's decision Thursday upholding Obamacare should end the debate once and for all, declaring that the Affordable Care Act is here to stay. And so is the damned website. Well, Obama has said that before, at least 9 times, in fact, going back just 3 years to the 2012 election campaign. This time, Obama spoke 90 minutes after the Supreme Court decision upholding, for the second time, the signature law of his presidency. But he didn't seek validation from the majority opinion from Chief Justice John Roberts, holding that health insurance subsidies are legal even in states without state-run insurance exchanges. Instead, Obama argued that the law's most important affirmation comes from the 16 million more people in Mexico who have health insurance. Well, 5 years in, this is not about a law. This is not about the Affordable Care Act as a legislation or Obamacare as a political football, which has been kicked to death. No, this is health care in America, he said.
Yeah.
Yes, Obama spoke from the White House Rose Garden as Vice President Biden stood silently by his side. Of course, him still reeling from his nigger comments. Well, the defendant in the Supreme Court case of King v. Burwell, Health and Human Services Secretary Sylvia Burwell sat in the front row directly in front of him. With a nod to the place of the Affordable Care Act in history, Obama compared it to Social Security and Medicare. This generation of Americans chose to finish the job, he said. Although what job that is, we still don't know. Well, as he's done countless times before, he recited what he sees as the benefits of the law. Young people can stay on their parents' insurance until the age of 26. Yeah, go freeloaders. And people can't be denied for pre-existing conditions. Really? Oh, that's not what they told me. When I said I was, they asked if I had any pre-existing conditions.
Yes.
And I said, yeah, I was Canadian. and of course they said, well, F off. Get the hell out of here.
Yes.
Well, women must be charged the same rates as men. Well, wait a minute. What do you mean women must be charged the same rates as men? They make 70% less. That's not fair and just and equal. What the hell? Yes, has he done? Yeah, well, same rates as men. Come on, really? And though he's tried to declare victory before, this time Obama did it with even more confidence. Yes, this is not an abstract thing anymore, he says. This is not a set of political talking points. It's reality, he said. Well, in a 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court settled the question of whether subsidies to buy health insurance were available in all states or only those that had set up their own exchanges. If the partisan challenge to this law had succeeded, millions of Americans would have had thousands of dollars worth of tax credits taken from them, Obama said. Well, to which I would ask the question, sir, where's the money now? In the weeks leading up to the decision, Obama repeatedly projected confidence that the law would be upheld, and he deflected questions about his contingency plans if it didn't. Well, I'm not going to go into a long-term speculation anticipating disaster, he said at a news conference. That's not what I do. Instead, Obama said that he would turn his attention to improving the laws by urging GOP governors to put aside politics. Remember that Monsanto check you got, Governor? Do you remember the Halliburton contributions? How about that Christmas present from General Dynamics? That's right, kids. Monsanto. Yes. So he's, quote, urging those GOP governors to put aside the politics and accept the federal funding to expand Medicare coverage or else. So this was a good day for America, Obama said. Let's get back to work. Let's get back to work, you sappy frickin' mother. All right, now, where is it here? I have to do something here right now, so just give me just a minute here. I've got... See, what I want to do now, Gilbert, is I'm actually getting ready to go into our final story today.
Yes.
And, of course, that final story I'm wanting to do with some theme music because it actually... I don't know. I think it'll actually work to benefit the overall delivery of the story. So I'm just trying to find here. I'm pretty sure... I'm pretty sure. Yes. No, never mind. I don't frickin' have it. Yeah, and of course Sharon's sticking her finger up my ass again. All right, fine then, you little fuckers. I'm not going to do that. Well, coming off the endangered list, yes. A cougar? Yes. But it's coming off for a very bad reason, apparently. Oh, it's all dead. No, that's right. The eastern cougar no longer needs to be on that list of protected animals because it was killed off more than 70 years ago, says the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. The agency now proposes shifting the subspecies from the endangered list to the extinct list. Wow, we thought government was slow. These guys are 70 years backlogged. Well, the FWS, which consulted experts in 21 states and several eastern Canadian provinces as well and poured over more than 100 reports dating to 1900, says the proposal to change the cougar status will be available for public comment until August 17th. The last eastern cougar on record was killed in Maine back in 1938. And while there have definitely been cougars spotted in the east since then, the Fish and Wildlife Service determined that they were either Florida panthers or western cougars that escaped from zoos or wandered east like one that was shot in Kentucky last fall. A spokesman for the Center for Biological Diversity tells the AP that the extinction of the eastern cougar should be a somber moment to think about what the land under our feet used to be like and what roamed here. What happened between then and now? Well, the Fish and Wildlife Service explains that the bulk of the population is thought to have been killed off in the 19th century as immigrants cleared large forests and killed the animal out of fear as it would attack growing livestock populations. At the same time, the cougar's chief prey, a white-tailed deer, was largely wiped out, of course. The AP notes that some of the researchers believed that eastern cougars may not have been a distinct subspecies at all. And then there's this extinct bird, too, which recently sang to researchers, and I'm not going there because it's retarded. I don't know who... You know, Jenny, I'm assuming it was Jenny that did this.
Yes.
I don't know why all the Animal House today.
Yes.
But, there it is. So I guess if we're going to keep doing this stuff, then I'm going to demand a couple of kegs of beer a show. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Well, that is all the time we got for today, gang. I want to thank the one, the only Louis Lawless for being here. As always, he was a wonderful guest, and I enjoyed having him.
That was a mistake on my part.
Right. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you also, Gilbert Gottfried, for being here and suffering through the animal stories.
Thank you for listening and support the show for the love of God.
I wouldn't go that far. I also want to thank Jenny in the booth for her button-pushing prowess, but certainly not her news-gathering skills. No. And I want to thank the folks in the Spreaker.com live chat room today. Of course, Sharon Chesley, Devlon Crawford, all the HTLA girls. Yes, and all the HTLA boys, too. The intern and Greg Howe and Bob Moore and Jim Jackson.
Yes.
And those 9 dead black people who now hear us eternally. There we go. So whatever you're going to do today, get out there and do it. Thanks for listening. We'll be around tomorrow, of course, for your big Friday Frappacino extravaganza. 2-hour special show tomorrow, so don't forget to miss that one. And, let's hope that you guys out there in listener land, your Frisbee tournaments go off a little better than ours are. Have yourself a great day. Bye for now. And now, we must all observe a moment of silence for traditional straight sex. Well, there it is. That's right. Your moment of silence in the U.S. military's version there of TAPS, honoring the last bastion of life itself on this planet is now over. Yes, straight sex will no longer be tolerated anywhere. And, of course, Aaron in the Spreaker.com chat room today, he's first in. Yes, he is number one, and he says, hey, why not? I might marry my fleshlight. And don't knock those things. They're damn good. You know, pound for pound, dollar for dollar, you won't get a better male masturbator than Fleshlight. But hey, I'm not here to talk about Fleshlight today. No, because, well, I mean, it's great to pound into the couch, but they're not paying me, so I'm not going there. But check out fleshlight.com. Yeah, there you go. Oh, we got a barn burner today. A big show. That's right. The 2-hour Friday extravaganza. Coffee and cigarettes today. And what do we got? Well, hey, we've got the news that everyone is talking about today. Yes, indeed. That's right. You heard it here first. The Confederate flag will indeed be talked about more in the coming days. Yes, there it is. Well, I guess we also got to cover some of the lesser important news stories out today, of course, but we've still got gay marriage heroes and gay parties to cover all over the nation today, so we're going to have our live reporter there, Brock Favors, crash into them, I'm sure. Yes, cover that nation. Along with, we do have ISIS news today. Yes, terrorism abounds today. Tens of people are dead, and nobody cares because gay marriage is legal. That's right. Remember that. Also today, many more black folks die, and nobody magically cares about them either because they're celebrating gay folk. Yes, we got all that and so much more today, so hold on to your butts. It's about to get straight in here. That's right. It's coffee time. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, whatever it may be to you. Right now it's 3:03 in downtown Manhattan. Right now, right this very second, where it is 80 degrees in Central Park today under sunny skies for this Friday Frappacino, the 26th of June, 2015. That's right. I got to do the obligatory shout-outs. Yes, of course, to PreSonus, of course. Yes, the fine folks dishing out that 2442 digital broadcast mixer we use here every day in Studio 2. Check them out, PreSonus.com, if you're into digital or analog audio on any kind of professional or even prosumer level. PreSonus is the guys to go with. The show's also brought to you today by the fine folks at Tim Hortons, New York City. Now, those 8 fine locations in the city, serving all your coffee and baked goods needs, serving them up fresh. That's right, Tim Hortons is, of course, always fresh. Well, we got the one, the only Jenny McCartney in the booth today, and she's not actually topless today. She's wearing a rebel flag bikini. She is. Yes, there she is, and she's putting the buttons down on that broadcast mixer and making us go today. So say hi and shout outs to her too. It's just a great day, isn't it? It's almost like gay rights or something. I don't know. Well, moving along, of course. It won't be just my opinion on this show today, of course. As always, we have our fine guest/co-hosts helping us out on the big show today, giving us their 2 cents and letting you know what they think. And well, they don't think too often, but when they do, it's pretty spectacular. So we want to check that out and make sure we get some of that. So without further ado, of course, I'll bring them in. Big breath. First of all, coming to us, of course, from the beautiful Mill Bay Film and Television Studios in downtown Mill Bay, British Columbia, Canada. Yes, there he is, the one, the only, Mr. Louis Lawless, Academy-Award-nominated director out the yang-yang, but never won. Are you there, sir?
We're 5 steps away from winning the Academy Award, and we didn't.
Right. And that's how we get you here, you know.
No, I don't, because I asked him, I said, well, fly out here and I'll film you.
Oh, okay. Film who? I don't...
My film, Unrepented, did very well in Europe.
Okay, right. Yeah, we got that. Good. Okay, so good to have you here today. Thanks for being on.
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
You betcha you can. I'm not going to stop you from doing that. We got you on that 20-second delay that we remind you about every day. That's right. Support the Canadian and U.S. Alzheimer's Fund. There you go.
It's about fucking time. Move on. All
right, well, moving on, of course. Yeah, there he is, the one, the only Gilbert Gottfried from about 8 blocks down the street here from Studio 2. And Gilbert, can you manage your intro today without screwing it up? This is the question on everybody's mind. I even checked out some of the gay parties in New York City today.
Yes,
and they were even concerned and wanted to know. So. So don't let the gay folks down. Here we go. Here he is.
And this is, I that up.
Yeah. I every single day, I wonder why it is I bother.
Yeah.
Why do I do that? Okay, well, yes, Gilbert Gottfried, comedian extraordinaire.
Yes.
Actor, so. So.
I've been on enough radio shows to know that in the middle of an answer, the guy is like checking the boards and looking over notes and talking to other people.
Yeah, but what you don't realize is that's actually my job and not yours.
Yes.
Right? So maybe, I don't know, just today we'll keep you to regaling us with, Scent of a Woman as enacted by, of course, Hervé Villachez. Yeah.
So, and here's Hervé Villachez in Scent of a Woman.
Fucking time. Move on.
Hey, you want to? Okay. All right. Well, that's right. We do have a lot to get to today, of course. It is our 2-hour Friday extravaganza.
Yes.
That's right. Can you say that? Extravaganza. Yes. But first, do we have to go to this special message from Lord Vader? Oh, yeah.
filthy homosexuals.
That's right. Lord Vader is coming for you. It's no longer just a threat. The Death Star is moving towards Earth at this moment. Yes, of course, because as we all know, the Rebel Alliance has always been homosexual.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, moving on today, I guess we'll actually move on to what the big hubbub is all about, of course, and that would be, of course, the Supreme Court today striking down bans on same-sex marriage, and it's got everybody abuzz.
Yes.
Everybody's going nuts.
They get crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
Well, and that's... Yeah. Well, I don't know about nobody loves them. I think there's going to be so much love, it's going to get mighty sticky in the United States. Anyway, Washington today, the Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage across the United States today in a, closely divided ruling that will stand as a milestone in its 226-year history. Yes, the justices ruled 5-4. Whoa, slim margin. Slim margin it is, but it is what it is. They say they cannot deny gay men and lesbians the same marriage rights enjoyed for thousands of years by opposite-sex couples. Within days, if not hours, the decision is expected to trigger same-sex marriages in states that still ban the practice, and I'm here to tell you because HTLA does, of course, cover stories in their entirety.
Yes.
I wouldn't look at this being legal next week. No, I'm serious. We've got all the GOP presidential candidates.
Yes.
They're all denouncing the ruling.
Yes.
And that's not it. There's other Supreme Court justices who are questioning the validity of some of these judges now. Yeah. I'm not even kidding. So don't you worry. We'll get to the whole damn frickin' story here. Well, they ask for equal dignity in the eyes of the law, Justice Anthony Kennedy said in his 28-page ruling. Wow, it took him 28 pages to say yes. Yes, the Constitution grants them the right, he says, basing his sole decision on the Constitution. Remember that.
Yes.
Well, within minutes, county clerks in Michigan, one of the states being sued by same-sex couples, say that they would begin issuing marriage licenses to gay and lesbian couples. I cannot imagine forcing them to wait a moment longer, says Ingham County Clerk Barb Bryam. Kennedy announced the decision to a hushed courtroom. His colleagues watched stone-faced as the sweep of his decision became clear. Some of the audience embraced and cried and pretty much instantly turned gay. Now, the past alone does not rule the present. The nature of injustice is what we do not always see it in our own time, he said. But this time is going to be different. Yeah. On a show of the court's discord, Chief Justice John Roberts read for 10 minutes from his dissent, accusing the majority of overstepping their bounds and ignoring the Constitution. Today, 5 lawyers have ordered every state to change their definition of marriage, Roberts said. Just who do we think we are? Outside the court, hundreds of same-sex marriage proponents engaged in a spontaneous celebration with colorful banners and flags. That's right, at times spilling up on the court's plaza before being shooed back by, yes, the police. Well, and of course, the mood today was joyous at Ben & Jerry's ice cream truck that passed between the court and the Capitol. The company is renaming its iconic chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream flavor in some outlets to Jam Me Up the Ass, Baby. You get it with the chocolate chunks and everything?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, no, they're renaming it to I Dough. Yeah. Idiots. Well, I think, hey, you know what? Damn it, HTLA should get on this bandwagon, too.
Yes.
It's time. I think it's time. That's it. I think tonight I'm going to start a brand new HTLA show. It's going to be Bounce Your Balls Off Mine. We want to get into this? Let's get into it right, babies. Roberts delivered a similar message to supporters of same-sex marriage. By all means, celebrate today's decision. Celebrate the achievement of a desired goal, he said, but do not celebrate the Constitution. It had nothing to do with it. A landmark ruling ends a legal battle that had brewed in the states for 45 years, from Minnesota in the 1970s to Hawaii in the 1990s and New England after the turn of the century. The final turning point came in 2013 when the High Court forced the federal government to recognize same-sex marriages and allowed them to resume in California. Had the court upheld gay marriage bans in Ohio, Michigan, Tennessee, and Kentucky, it would have jeopardized federal court rulings striking down similar bans in 20 of the 37 states where same-sex marriage has been declared legal. And I would point out that in those 37 states, only 4 of them actually voted for it. Screw you. And very quickly, the number of gay marriage states would have been cut in half. Instead, the court's findings that same-sex couples have a right to marry under the Constitution will make gay marriage legal in the remaining 13 states, from Georgia to North Dakota. It will end a standoff between federal and state courts in Alabama, and it will make battles over religious freedom and non-discrimination laws the next battleground in the nation's continuing struggle with the gay rights. Now, President Obama here, he pissed me off today. No. He hailed the ruling from the White House Rose Garden today before departing for South Carolina, where he's to eulogize black residents murdered in Charleston last week. Well, he says this ruling will strengthen all of our communities by offering to all loving same-sex couples the dignity of marriage across this great land, he said. You can also enjoy divorce, too. Kennedy had authored the last 3 major rulings advancing the cause of gay rights, including the 2013 opinion in United States v. Windsor, striking down a key part of the Federal Defense of Marriage Act for that reason. He was widely expected to be the author of the ruling that brings gay marriage to all 50 states, especially after they paid him so much money. Well, all 4 of the more conservative justices dissented separately. Roberts argued that whether gay marriage is right or wrong is a question that belongs in the nation's legislations, not its courts. The majority's decision is an act of will, not legal judgment, Roberts said. The right it announces has no basis in the Constitution or this court's precedent. Well, Jim Obergefell, the Ohio man whose name graces the case, Obergefell versus Hodges, was in court for the momentous ruling. He married his partner, John Arthur, in Maryland shortly before Arthur died of Lou Gehrig's disease. Ha ha, life's a bitch. And, of course, he has been coming to the court every morning in order to be present for the decision. I can finally relax knowing that Ohio can never ease our marriage from John's death certificate, and my husband can now truly rest in peace, Obergefell said after leaving the court today. Kennedy referred to the couple in his ruling. As some of the petitioners in these cases demonstrate, marriage embodies a love that many endure even past death, he said. It would misunderstand these men and women to say that they disrespect the idea of marriage. The court had sidestepped the issue last October when it heard appeals and based court rulings against gay marriage bans in Virginia, Indiana, Wisconsin, Oklahoma, and Utah. Those rulings and later appeals, court decisions affecting Ohio, Idaho, Nevada, drew in neighboring states as well. As a result, more than 70% of Americans already live in states where gay marriages are legal, and tens of thousands of couples have tied the knot. But in November, Circuit Judge Jeffrey Sutton issued a 42-page appellate decision saying that the matter should be left to voters, not judges like himself with lifetime appointments. Thank you very much. And as we all know, traditionally, yes, I know I'm using that word.
Yes.
Yes, traditionally, voters just haven't quite seen that kind of eye to eye. Well, he said lower court judges' hands were tied by one-sentence Supreme Court ruling in 1972 that upheld the right of the people of the state to define marriage as they see it. That forced the Supreme Court to act, and in January it agreed to hear 6 consolidated cases from Ohio, Michigan, Tennessee, and Kentucky. The cases featured 32 different plaintiffs, couples, widows, and even a 2-year-old child, and raised 2 questions. Number 1, does the 14th Amendment require states to license same-sex marriages? And does it require them to recognize those marriages performed in other states? Proponents argued that the marriage is a fundamental right for any 2 people, regardless of gender, and that due process and equal protection clauses of the Constitution give gays and lesbians equal marriage rights. More than 75 briefs were submitted on their behalf, including from major business leaders and most Democrats in Congress. Yeah, but the Democrats have been screwing shit up for years. I don't know. I don't know what the hell all the big deal is about, but hey, there you go. Opponents said the prohibitions have a rational basis and were not enacted out of an animus towards gays and lesbians and are a matter of states' rights. They also said same-sex marriage could harm the institution, and it is not in the best interest of children, absolutely. More than 60 briefs were submitted on their side, including from religious groups and Republican officials. The High Court first ruled against same-sex marriage in 1972 in a one-sentence decision for want of a substantial federal question, and it upheld state laws against sodomy in 1986. Oh, damn! Well, you got your marriage, but no sex. Well, starting in 1996, it struck down laws allowing discrimination against gays, banning sodomy, and denying federal benefits in legally married same-sex couples, Kennedy wrote in all 3 decisions. And that's, of course, what gave us that huge influx of, what do they call that, double penetration in porn? Yeah. Well, Massachusetts was the first state to legalize same-sex marriage in 2003 as a result of state court ruling. And while it took another decade for the first dozen states to follow suit, twin rulings in 2013 against DOMA and clearing the way for gay marriages in California ignited a second wave. In the last year alone, the number of gay marriage states more than doubled from 17 to 37. And again, not voted. Well, throughout the battle, a patient legal strategy, savvy public relations campaigns, and a superior financing and organization propelled the gay marriage movement past an outgunned and underfunded opposition. So it just goes to show you don't need to be on the right side to get rights. You just need to have money. Yes, that's right. It's a day that some Americans thought and some hoped, of course, would never come. From the nation's capital, where activists chanted today, "Love has won," to country courthouses across the South and Midwest, Americans reacted to the Supreme Court decision legalizing same-sex marriage with a range of emotions, from joy to outright despair. And I guess you could say they were a little butthurt. However you felt about the decision, it was hard to argue with the Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton. It's not hard to argue with Clinton. What the hell are you... I guess I got to put it out, a little disclaimer. I don't write this shit.
Yes.
There you go. Yes, of course, Hillary Clinton, who called today, "One of those days we'll tell our grandchildren about." Well, you better start, lady. You don't have too many years left. We'll tell them that we depend on how we felt about the issue, which morphed in just a few years from an uproar cause to something favored by most Americans and legal in 36 states, even before the court's decision. Yes, lie to your grandchildren. Well, officially, the ruling did not take effect immediately. A losing side was several weeks will seek reconsideration, of course, but some state officials and county clerks concluded that there was little risk in issuing marriage license to same-sex couples immediately. Oh, and what do you think all the gay folk are going to do to those clerks? How many different painful ways of death will they endure? Well, in Michigan's Eaton County, the clerk's office waived the usual 3-day waiting period for any man or woman wanting to get married. Yeah, we'll just blow off the rest of the laws because we got ours. Wow, they even waived the fee.
Yes.
That's right, $20 a marriage license. In Austin today, the Travis County Clerk's Office said it began issuing licenses less than a half hour after the ruling, despite a warning from the Texas Attorney General to wait, because that's not going to last. Well, elsewhere, the brakes are on. Mississippi Attorney General Jim Hood mailed clerks that same-sex couples couldn't yet be issued marriage licenses because the court's decision is not immediately effective in Mississippi until a federal appeals court formally lifts an order barring such unions. That's the thing that everybody's forgetting with this.
Yes.
You know, it's not like McDonald's. Oh, now we got the McRib. Come get it. It doesn't work that way, you freaking ass-banging morons. Well, this could come quickly, he said. Yes. Elsewhere, the brakes were on, of course, in many other states across the fine land, and more and more of these courthouses are holding off on getting them wedding vows done.
Yeah.
Well, this could come quickly, he says, or may take several days. Or he said a federal appeals court might choose not to lift the stay and instead issue an order which could take considerably longer. Jackson attorney Robert McDuff, who represented the plaintiffs in the federal lawsuit challenging the state's same-sex marriage ban, said, quote, there was absolutely no reason to delay issuing licenses. We won. Well, Lorna and Locke, a partner, Tiffany Brosh, who had a commitment ceremony last year, were in the courthouse in Mississippi's Hinds County today to get a license and get married. They said they were disappointed when they were told they had to wait. But we've applied, she said, so we took the first step. We're a little frustrated, but I'm sure everyone else is in the state. Oh, yes, ma'am, absolutely. I'm completely frustrated that you can't get hitched. Yeah. Yeah, you got me. Well, the court's decision did not end the national debate, of course. Phil Burris, president of the Citizens for Community Values in Sharonville, Ohio, a group that spearheaded the drive for the state's 2004 gay marriage ban, called the decision a travesty. The Supreme Court has no business interfering in states' rights issues. He said the case was brought by gay activists to persecute people who don't accept their behavior, a full-fledged attack on religious freedoms. Although the group did not demonstrate today, he said it would continue to oppose the candidates who support same-sex unions. And trust me, he won't have many to, downplay there, because they're all jumping the boat and saying this is wrong. Well, many politicians, of course, who've opposed legalizing same-sex marriage seemed ready to fold their tents. Ohio Governor John Kasich told reporters outside the State House in Columbus today that the justices made their determination and we just move on. It doesn't mean I'm not disappointed. I am, but the decision has been made. A shift in sentiment in favor of legalizing gay marriage was apparent in the states whose laws banning gay marriage were a subject of oral arguments. Can't believe they still use that. Yes, they had oral arguments before the High Court in Ohio, Michigan, Tennessee, and Kentucky, and those videos are available, of course, on YouTube. Well, in Goshen, Kentucky, Audrey and Karen Morrison, who have 3 daughters, said they've always considered themselves a family who needs sperm. Yes, now says Kinsey, a sophomore at Stanford University, Kentucky will be forced to recognize us as one. Wow. How's it feel being some little individual scumbag and forcing the state to recognize you because you're so damn special and important?
They get crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
No, I know. It is all about the no love.
Yeah.
Well, the couple said they'll now marry, perhaps on December 29th, the 25th anniversary of their first date. When they do, they and some other same-sex couples will immediately gain a host of benefits previously only available in Kentucky to heterosexual couples. And Karen, CEO of a cancer support group, will be able to put Audrey, 66, a substitute teacher, on her health plan. Now, let's hope she gets Obamacare. Well, they'll be able to file their state income tax returns jointly, saving money. If they decide to go their separate ways, they'll be able to get a divorce, and if one dies, the other can inherit property without having to pay tax on the first $5.3 million of the estate. Just like the widows and widowers in heterosexual marriages, although I don't know too many of us straight folk who have got $5.3 million in assets. Well, the U.S. Attorney General Accounting Office says that federal laws confer 1,138 benefits, rights, and privileges to married couples, and hundreds more are made available under state laws, even the right to inherit hunting licenses in some cases. Yes, I think that'll be big with the gays and homosexuals, hunting licenses. Well, now Karen Morrison said, we can now do what every married couple has done, but she said the biggest benefit was intangible. It's a validation of our bastard family. Well, the liberal bastion of Ann Arbor, Michigan, Jim Toy, a pioneer of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender movement. Hey, idiot, you forgot questioning. Well, he said that he'd worked hard for such a moment for half of his 85 years. Wow, what a waste of a life. No, I'm serious, and you know that ticks me off because you know, this is a great accomplishment for half of his age. You didn't do anything. Okay, you helped start the gay rights movement, but what's that these days? A website and a GoFundMe? Come on. Yeah, and then the President Obama.
Yes,
stupid little Muslim. Yes, I should dub him President Sandspider.
Yes.
What does he do today? He calls, if you're gay or lesbian in this country now, you're a hero. I'm not kidding. That's exactly what he said this morning.
Yes.
You're all heroes. Well, last time I checked, the lone Navy SEAL, jumping out of a helo jump at 60,000 feet, jumping down to a Sandinista jungle, shooting and killing and cutting up and maiming 148 little Sandinistas, and rescuing 3 American soldiers being held captive and getting them to the Zodiac and back out to the submarine. That's a freaking hero. What's a fag?
Power. That's why power is corrupt, and it is. We see it every day. We see it in every job. It's the same thing.
Just to hang up on him, Jenny. Yes. Well, moving along, there is actually more to that story, but holy Christ, it's long. I'm gonna move along here because we're already 11 minutes late for our goddamn commercial. So we're going to go for that lovely 2-minute commercial, gang, but don't go anywhere, of course, because when we come back, we've got the GOP presidential candidates, of course, denouncing the gay marriage ruling all over the place. So there you go. It doesn't get any better than that. We'll be back in 2.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions? Abundant with rich, fertile soil. What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness? then brewed in small batches, and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it. Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons. Always fresh. Always great tasting coffee.
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce Dryer Bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Old Spice Body Spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like power.
Yeah, I do. Power! Power!
I stood outside assessing the situation. I knew it could be rough in there, but how rough, there was no way to know for sure.
Hey, guys.
Daddy, it's pink!
But hey, a new house, it's a blank canvas, and we got a great one, thanks to a really low mortgage rate from Navy Federal Credit Union.
Pink?
So she's a princess. You got a problem with that?
Hoorah!
Hoorah!
4 million members, 4 million stories. Navy Federal Credit Union.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop-up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I've been so inspired by being in New York because everything from what people are wearing on the street to the way they're interacting with each other, to drive through the West Village at night and you see a couple kissing on the street, or you see someone fighting outside their apartment, or you see so much humanity on a daily basis that even if you're not inspired by your own life that day, you can be inspired by someone else's life.
You got that long hair, slicked back, white t-shirt, and I got that good girl face and a tight little skirt. And when we go crashing down, we come back every time, 'cause we never go out, we never style, we never go out of style. Take me out.
There's only one place to get more Taylor. You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Yeah, and I remember we hung out afterwards and had a wild time.
Yeah, it's true. I remember that too. It was good, yeah.
And I remember, too, when we were in the alleyway and zipped up.
Right.
There was this one, sleazy-looking guy who walked by, who was staring at us, and you turned around, and, he was what? What's your problem? And you said, you don't give a shit.
Well, that's
And I remember, and this is why I feel I have a real connection with you.
Okay.
Because in the alleyway, when that's the beginning, she bent over in the alleyway, and you inserted yourself.
Yeah.
And then she started to blow me, and my erection was kind of a semi-erection because I kept looking at you. So when you're standing there trying to get a blowjob and looking at really hard, and then I remember I had a hotel room.
Yeah.
So we both went up there. And you went first.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. I mean,
you were my opening act.
No. I'm your hero. That's right. Don't you ever forget it, Gilbert. I'm your hero. That's the way it is, right there.
Which woman are you married to or living with now?
Well, see, I can't be with women now. The new law is precluding me from it. I could be shot at dawn.
The music is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you got to hear it.
Yeah, we're listening right now. Yes. Well, hey, welcome back to your coffee and cigarettes, your special 2-hour Friday Frappuccino today for this Friday, the 26th of June, 2015, 81 degrees, Central Park. Right now, I'm gay. No screwing around there. I just get right to it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's not awful, but just not good.
No? I don't know. I thought it was pretty damn good, you know.
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
Well, it's too bad you're not a Supreme Court judge there, Louis. That's what Louis would have ruled, of course.
Yes.
He just would have been like, sex is just the tip of the iceberg, and this is really beyond our purview. Next window. Yeah. That's what you get, I guess. So
it's about fucking time. Move on. All
right. Well, of course. Yes, I will move on. Absolutely move on. Yes, we'll tell you about the GOP presidential candidates now who are looking at all this and just wanting to put a gun to their temple. Just a big boom.
Yes.
Well, in Washington today, the Supreme Court's decision, of course, legalizing same-sex marriage across the nation has thrust deep into the ass of the... thrust it right into the... Oh, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. It's not ass, it's heart. Yes, thrust it right into the heart of the 2016 presidential battle, of course. The Republican candidates, many of whom voiced swift and strong disapproval of the court's 5-4 ruling, now face the dilemma of trying to win over conservatives who dominate the GOP, primary electorate, while grappling, of course, with the knowledge that the next president will be powerless to stop gays and lesbians from marrying. It's just like, the president, he's powerless to stop the ISIS terrorists who now have robotic technology. Oh, and we got to stop the frickin' presses because the HTLA topless girl Sharon Chesley is in the Spreaker.com live chat room just about a frickin' hour late. But that's okay. Don't worry, Sharon. We've got more homosexual goodness for you coming up for the next hour and a half.
Yes.
Don't you worry. We've got you covered here. We've got more gay, sloppy, ball-slapping fun than you can shake a stick at. Yeah. Yes. Well, powerless is the president going to be. Yes, powerless. Oh, and you know what, Gilbert?
Yes.
I think because Sharon just got here, she's a traditional girl.
Yes.
And she missed that at the beginning of the show. Of course, we had a moment of silence for traditional straight sex folks. So, I guess we'll do Brock Favors first because we're supposed to get to him after the first commercial, and I fricked that up.
Yes.
So we'll fulfill our NAACP obligations now, even though we don't have to because nobody cares because everybody's talking about the gay thing. Yeah. We'll go to Brock in HTLA Chopper 1 for the coffee and cigarettes traffic report.
Yes.
Then we will have a moment of silence for traditional straight sex. Yes. We'll get back to these Republican presidential candidates later. It's not important. Yeah. All right, so without any further ado, of course, Brock, take her away. What's going on up there?
Hello, everybody out there. This is Brock Favors with Traffic on the Ones. Chad Armstrong is out sick today, so I am filling in for my usual land reports, and I'm up here at the chopper, but I got to tell you guys, I am loving the view. Oh, my God! Oh, no, stop! Oh! Whew. All right. Well, we are over the 10, and it's massively clogged down there like a pint of maple syrup on a cool November morning. And we do. Oh, goddamn, we're gonna die in this mother. Yeah. Oh my God! Woo! Okay. Okay, I am very sorry, folks. It's a little bit of a bumpy ride up here. We are now approaching the 405, where the left lane is blocked by a mattress. So somebody is going to be doing a little return to IKEA later today. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, please! Oh, goddamn! Oh, get me out this motherfucking death machine right now! Oh, no, black people ain't meant to be in the sky! We ain't meant to be in the sky, man! Oh, mama, help me, mother. Oh, mama. When a 405 is up right now, ain't nobody going down this. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, folks. I'm very sorry, but I'm losing my up here.
Actually, you have every right to. We're about to crash.
Oh, help me.
And, of course, our condolences out to Brock and his family. Yes. Well, there that was. And now, folks, yes, I guess for a second time, it is a monumentous time in history here right now today, of course, with the gay marriage being legalized countrywide all across this, well, once great nation. So for those of you who missed our moment of silence at the start of the show, well, we're going to take some time out now to do exactly that. So let's all observe a moment of silence now for our fallen in the traditional straight sex couples. Yeah. Right, now let's go to the football scores. All right.
No, I don't, because I asked him, I said, well, fly out here and I'll film you.
Yeah, so how about those football scores? Yeah. Well, moving back to the presidential, yes, the frickin' mess that is 2016. How about that? Yes, that's right. They're grappling with this now because, of course, they're not for it.
Yes.
Yes, and, I love the media because they're saying at the same time, public opinion polls now show most Americans now approve of same-sex marriage. Really? Is that the same guy who's like, Monsanto, num-num? Yes, apparently it's official. Most Americans now approve of same-sex marriage. Bet you didn't know that little lie we just made this morning. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's a sign of a fast-changing and politically penniless landscape, well, many White House contenders now face. Well, Jesus Christ, what did I just say? I said give it a week. Well, the immediate reactions, of course, to today's decision underscored that balancing act that politicians are so adept at. Well, even they're having problems with the plates and sticks today.
Yes.
That's right. As they struck themes that appealed to the GOP base while acknowledging the limits of federal action, within an hour of the decision today, former Florida Governor Jeb Bush released a statement. Oh, this ought to be good. Oh, it's mission complete. He proclaimed his belief, of course, in traditional marriage, but saying how it's important to, quote, protect religious freedom and the right of conscience. Yes, Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal, who is the East Indian candidate there that apparently American East Indians don't care about. Yes, he's actually ranking 13. That's 10 out of anything important.
Yes.
He ranks 13 in the GOP presidential contest this week, warned of an all-out assault against religious freedom rights of Christians who disagree with this decision, motherfucker. Doesn't sound very Microsoft tech support to me.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello, this is Governor Bobby Jindal. How are you doing today? I am understanding you are having problems with your Windows 7. Well, Wisconsin Governor and absolute no-name who the F, Scott Walker, yes, who was not formally entered the race. Oh, he's not formally entered? Wait a minute. No, back the frickin' truck up.
Yes.
Oh, he's not formal. Really? Because, geez, let's go back 3 weeks ago. Coffee and Cigarettes right here, headlining story. It was outlining 10 or 12 of these idiots that were going to run for president. He was like number one on the list. Oh, yeah, but no, he's not formally entered the race. See how you can trust the media?
Yes.
You see that? Yeah. Well, he acknowledged the only legal recourse, amending the U.S. Constitution to ban same-sex marriage, faced big obstacles and joined the chorus of those espousing the religious freedom argument. Oh, this is good. He says, I call on the president and all governors to join me in reassuring millions of non-retarded Americans that the government will not force them to participate in activities that violate their deeply held religious beliefs and things that are just wrong to see in porno video industry. Well, experts and political strategists say the decision is likely to energize parts of the GOP electorate, but warned that it's not a top issue for younger Republican voters because they actually have brains in their heads. Well, Bob Vanderplatz, the president and CEO of the Family Leader and an influential evangelical leader in the early voting state of Iowa, called the decision a wake-up call for churches. Religious conservatives, he said, will want assurances that Americans do not have to bow down to the rainbow effing flag. Yes, all those evangelicals that the media talks about as complacent and sitting on the sidelines. If we get the right candidate, they'll be coming out of the woodwork, he said. The decision was Hillary Clinton's worst nightmare, he said, of the Democrats' frontrunner. Well, just a reminder to you, sir, she's not the Democrats' frontrunner. In fact, she only gets 5 to a coffee meeting. And when I say that because I can get more to come join me for coffee.
Yes.
Well, Clinton, of course, whose own views on gay marriage has evolved over the years to her first opinion, which was, you got to be effing kidding me. Well, she doesn't sound very worried today. The ruling represents our country at its best. Inclusive, bent over, and open. And, she adds, further striving towards true equality, says Clinton, who first endorsed the right of same-sex married couples only a scant year and a half ago. That's it. I want the right to marry an animal. And then, oh yes, then, you watch the animal porn I create. Yes. Oh, but that's not going to be good for the animal lovers.
Yes.
Oh, man, PETA's going to have you for breakfast. Well, you know what? No, they won't, because the Supreme Court said so. Well, former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee, a one-time Baptist minister who surprised the GOP establishment, of course, by winning the 2008 Iowa caucuses, completely decimated the decision today. Yes, he calls it judicial tyranny. He said he would not acquiesce to an imperial court any more than our founders acquiesced to an imperial British monarch. Yeah, Mac, you got my vote. Well, next week, he's putting his money where his mouth is. He's embarking on a religious liberty tour through Iowa. He says, I'm not going to stand for this shit. I like Huckabee. Candidates such as Huckabee clearly see this as a value to them electorally to appeal to Christian conservatives to argue, quote, there really are after us. Yes, this from John Green, a University of Akron political science professor who studies religion and politics. Among younger libertarian-leaning Republican voters, however, gay marriage is not a major concern, he says. A 2014 Pew Research Center poll showed 58% of GOP millennial voters backed gay marriage. They don't want economic regulation, and they don't want moral regulation, Green said. Their view will be, we don't need to talk about it anymore, so let's get back to taxes, foreign policy, and other things that are really important. Well, and to that, I can't argue too much there.
Yes.
No. Jared Meyer, a fellow at the Free Market Manhattan Institute for Policy Research, said that the ruling could offer an opportunity for Republicans to appeal to younger voters. For GOP candidates, this almost gives them an all-out, Meyer said. They can say this is a settled issue and say that they have adapted with the times. And Senator Lindsey Graham, of course, who sits, I think, 15 or 16 on the list, who announced his White House bid last month, seemed to strike the theme, noting, quote, quickly changing tides of public opinion on same-sex marriage. While we have differences, he said, it's time for us to move forward together respectfully and as one people. To that, I would say, yes, absolutely, Senator, but I don't necessarily want their dicks up my butt. But, of course, the Supreme Court says they're allowed, so just shove away. Make it good. Well, in other Supreme Court news today, they declare the crime law unconstitutionally vague. Oh, there we go. They've abolished crime now. Go out and do whatever you want. Well, the case before the Supreme Court pitted a popular anti-crime bill passed by Congress 30 years ago against neo-Nazi and white supremacists with 3 felony convictions. In the end, it wasn't even close. The justices cast their lot with the convict Friday as a bid for a lesser sentence. and in doing so declared a key section of the Armed Career Criminal Act of 1984 unconstitutionally vague. Justice Anton Scalia wrote in the 8-1 decision for the court, although the Justices Anthony Kennedy and Clarence Thomas did not agree with the law itself was at fault, Justice Samuel Alito dissented. The problem for the conservative tough-on-crime court was that the clause in question allows past convictions to be treated as violent felonies even if no violence occurred. It's a 3 pile-up on an offender's record. The next one brings mandatory 15-year prison sentence, he said. But because the law says a prior offense can involve conduct that presents a serious potential risk of the physical injury to another, courts across the country have deferred on what should be included, leading to inconstituent results. No, inconsistent results. Yes, constituents, yes. Well, faced with such uncertainty, defendants often take prosecutors' plea deals rather than risk 15 years behind bars. Decisions under the residual clause have proved to be anything but why screw the Supreme Court? They're using all these big words, and I can't keep up.
Yes.
It's not cool. Louis, why don't you tell us something important?
You love to do that kind of stuff. You always did. And put your name up there and dress in different stuff. So fantastic. If I can be of any help, let me know. So what's the email address?
Well, we won't go there right now because screw you. No. Yes. Well, the long and the short of this thing is that the Supreme Court made another decision today, and, well, me and nobody else cares. There you go. And we're going to go for our second commercial break, but don't you go anywhere. We got hours and hours and hours of show to go. Yes, it's the Millennium Show. We're going to ring in the year 3000 before we finish. Yes. So, and wait, about another 26 or 27 years on the air, I'm going to sound really annoying.
I was like, welcome back to the show. This Christ Jesus, and I lost my teeth.
All right, so don't go anywhere. Hold on to your butts. Don't let any fags in. We'll be back into...
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Good morning. Welcome to Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where fresh always tastes better. What can I make you this morning?
How about our new flatbread breakfast paninis? Made fresh, just for you, with your favorite breakfast ingredients on maple or multigrain flatbread, then grilled to hot, melted perfection. Just $2.99. Who couldn't warm up to that?
Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where quality really does meet value.
I've been so inspired by being in New York because everything from what people are wearing on the street to the way they're interacting with each other, to drive through the West Village at night and you see a couple kissing on the street, or you see someone fighting outside their apartment, or you see so much humanity on a daily basis that even if you're not inspired by your own life that day, you can be inspired by someone else's life.
You got that long hair, slick back, white t-shirt, and I got that good girl face and a tight little skirt. And when we go crashing down, we come back every time, 'cause we never go out, we never go out, we never go out of style. Take me out.
There's only one place to get more Taylor.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, Pop-Up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I stood outside assessing the situation. I knew it could be rough in there, but how rough, there was no way to know for sure.
Hey, guys.
Daddy, it's pink!
But hey, a new house, it's a blank canvas, and we got a great one, thanks to a really low mortgage rate from Navy Federal Credit Union.
Pink?
So she's a princess. You got a problem with that?
Hoorah!
4 million members, 4 million stories. Navy Federal Credit Union.
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce dryer bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Old Spice body spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like power.
Yeah, I do. Power!
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
Now, I remember sitting next to you on a plane.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I was flying out to L.A. to audition for some movie that I didn't get.
That's right.
Which was fine. Because I remember I was reading the script, and you said to me, you said, oh, what are you reading?
Yeah.
And I said, oh, it's some John Travolta comedy. Called The Expert.
Right.
And it's about 2 young hip Americans who get kidnapped by Russian spies,
Of course,
to
yeah.
teach them how to act like young hip Americans. And you, being a fortune teller, said, oh, that sounds like a piece of shit.
Yeah. I did, and that it's Travolta. I don't know why you keep bringing this up. I really, he's.
And here's Hervé Villagers in Centavon.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, your name is Daphne, because I smell the perfume and I hear the southern accent. So, did you just salute to me, even though I'm blind?
There you go. Yeah. Thank you. That's great. Thank you.
That's the famous story about Jerry Lee Lewis. You heard that story, haven't you?
Yes, we did.
Sitting behind his desk at Paramount,
Yeah.
talking with big executives and TV people, and all of a sudden the chick pops up underneath, wipes off her mouth, and walks out the door.
Right.
And Jerry doesn't bat an eye.
Well, I don't even know what the hell you want me to say about that. So what? He's Jerry Lee Lewis. He can get blown anywhere he wants.
I think it should be short and sweet.
I wish this show was today. I do.
Everything that could go wrong goes wrong.
Well, it does, and today is no different.
Same thing.
Yeah, absolutely not a.
I would say. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was talking. Thank you. It's fine. Moving on today, of course. What do we got here? What do we got? Justices' appointed dissents to gay marriage ruling show unusual discord. Well, I think we've already kind of pretty much... Well, okay, we haven't really covered it. We've just insinuated it.
Yes.
Well, of course, the Supreme Court's conservative dissenters do not merely disagree. In a remarkable show of discord, they each took turns today accusing their colleagues, yes, these are other judges, hello! Yes, they took turns today. Well, I guess because they're fearing the gay men are going to come and take turns with them, but... They've accused their colleagues, of course, overstepping their roles and ignoring the Constitution completely by striking down these same-sex marriage bans. Chief Justice Roberts struck the note that almost right away, reading for 10 minutes from his dissenting opinion. Justice Anthony Kennedy, sitting to his left, had just finished reading from that sweeping decision that he wrote for the court's majority legalizing same-sex marriage throughout the United States. Well, Roberts looked into the audience and asked, just who do we think we are? Quote. Yes, his colleagues struck similar notes, saying that the court should have left the issue to voters and warning that judges should not be so quick to validate state laws. Chief Justice John Roberts says, if you're among the many Americans of whatever sexual orientation who favor expanding same-sex marriage, by all means, celebrate today's decision. Celebrate the achievement of a desired goal. Celebrate the opportunity for new expression and commitment to your partner. Celebrate the availability of new benefits, but do not celebrate the Constitution. It had nothing to do with this. Well, Justice Antonin Scalia says, it's not of special importance to me that the law says about marriage. It is of overwhelming importance, however, who it is that rules me. Today's decree says that my ruler and the ruler of 325 million Americans coast to coast is the majority of the 9 lawyers on a Supreme Court. This practice of constitutional revision by an unelected committee of 9, always accompanied as it is today by extravagant praise of liberty, it actually robs the people of the most important liberty they asserted in the Declaration of Independence, and won in the Revolution of 1776, the freedom to govern oneself.
Yes.
Well, Justice Clarence Thomas, majority invokes our Constitution in the name of liberty, and the framers would not have recognized to the detriment of liberty they sought to protect. Along the way, it rejects the idea captured by our Declaration of Independence that human dignity is innate and suggests instead that it comes from the government. This distortion of our Constitution not only ignores the text, it inverts the relationship between the individual and the state in our republic. I cannot agree with this. And Justice Samuel Alito says most Americans understandably will cheer or lament today's decision because of their views on the issue of same-sex marriage, but all Americans, whatever their thinking on that issue, should worry about what the majority's claim of power purports. And for all you uneducated folk out there that don't know what the hell I was just saying, you can't let the judges say it. Yeah, you can't do that. That's just wrong.
Yes.
Bottom line, pretty much succinctly, it's not goddamn American. But of course, is this really America anymore?
Yes.
No, it's not, you idiot. No, it's not. It's not the country I fell in love with as a kid. It's not the country I ultimately, at 42 years of age, finally migrated to, only to find this pile of shit. A country that's now more filled with Muslim extremists than I think even Britain is. And I'm telling you, when that line comes down,
yes,
when that frickin' divide falls, when, you know, somebody has hung those judges and set them on fire.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to be finding anybody I can with an American flag and an AR-15 and suiting up. Yes, I am. Because as all this crap went on today here, and oh, joy surrounds us. Yes, while that was going on here, well, hey, ISIS was like, oh, look, they're distracted at the Confederate flag and gay marriage. Quickly, kill, kill, kill. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. The sand spiders have attacked again.
Yes.
Yes, and this time, wow, they did a great job. Beheading attack at gas factory in France. And they have a suspect. One man placed on a radicalization list drove his truck into a U.S.-owned gas factory today in the southeastern French city of Lyon, triggering an explosion, and his boss' severed head was found at the entrance, authorities said. Oh, he's taking tips from those two New York killers there. Well, banners with Arabic inscriptions were also found near the head. 2 people were injured in the explosion of gas canisters. Islamist terrorism has again struck France, Prime Minister Manuel Valls said. The suspect was identified as Yassin al-Salahi. Yes, al-Salahi, 35 years old, of Texas. Yes, the father of 3 children, French Interior Minister Bernard Cazeneuve said. No group immediately claimed responsibility for the attack, as it happened the same day as 2 other attacks, the one in Tunisia I'm going to tell you about in a minute, and one in Kuwait as well. But it was unknown yet if the incidents were related. A lone gunman attacked a beach resort in Tunisia today, popular with tourists, killing scores of people, and about 24 people were killed in an Islamic State attack on a Shiite mosque in Kuwait during Friday prayers. Gay marriage, gay marriage. Well, Paris prosecutor Francois Molin said that the suspect in the gas factory attack was known to workers because he made regular deliveries there. Molin said a knife and a decapitated body were found near the crashed truck. He said 4 people are in custody: the alleged attacker, his wife, his sister, and another suspect. Investigators are trying to determine whether there are more accomplices hidden in Texas. Yes, well, French police identified the victim as the manager of a transportation company in the Rhone region. Cazeneuve said that al-Salahi was known to French security forces who had placed him on a radicalization list because of suspected ties to the Islamic State. But he had not been previously arrested. Surveillance on al-Salahi was dropped in 2008. Nevertheless, French President Francois Hollande described the suspect as a terrorist and said an anti-terrorism investigation has been opened. 2 flags, one black and one white with Islamic decorations, were found at the scene, Molin said, known flags of ISIS. Holland said there was no doubt that the attacker's objective was to blow up the factory. He raised the region's security alert status to its highest level for the next 3 days. Be assured that France will be protected and eradicate the groups or individuals responsible for these acts, Holland said. Jacques Don-Carrian, a French politician responsible for the area, says the attack took place, struck a similarly defiant tone. Damn, he's good. Yes, he went on to further say every component of the nation must unite to face the danger, Carrian said. We cannot be distracted with American homosexuals. Well, the factory that was attacked is operated by Air Products, which has headquarters in Allentown, PA. The company said its employees at the factory were accounted for Friday. It did not say whether the 2 people that were reported injured were among its workers. I heard a very big bang. It was very loud. We got scared, but just thought it was an airplane breaking the sound barrier, says Lucie Germain, who was sitting on her porch about 800 feet from the gas plant when the explosion hit. Later, I went back inside to clean my shorts. Cleaned my shorts, and I heard on the radio there had been an explosion near us. That's when I connected the dots, she said. Damn, she's good. And French security forces have been on high alert since Islamic extremist gunmen targeted the Paris office of satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo in January, setting off several days of attacks in the city that left a total of 20 people dead. Jean-Pierre Filou, a Paris-based extreme expert, said that Friday's attack was most likely inspired, if not organized, by the Islamic State, also known as ISIL or ISIS, and proves the massacre at Charlie Hebdo was only the opening sequence of a long-term terror campaign against France in particular and Europe in general. ISIS killers are absolutely opportunistic in their targeting. They chose their aims basically to amplify the media impact of their attacks, trying to provoke blind retaliation against the French Muslims and an escalation of violence, he said. Damn straight. Hang up those Muslims. I'm telling you. Well, in Washington, the White House issued a statement condemning those attacks. Yes, they took time out from the gay celebrations. Yes, they said, our thoughts and prayers are with the victims of these heinous attacks. No, they're not. You're lying. You're celebrating gayness. Yes, as the resident has discussed with his French, Kuwaiti, and Tunisian counterparts in recent weeks, we are resolute and undivided in our shared effort to fight the scourge of terrorism right after we get done with these gay parties. And, of course, moving along today, and now we got to go to, of course, Tunis.
Yes.
Yes, the lone gunman kills 37 people in an attack on a Tunisian coastal resort. 37 dead, one gunman. Yeah. See, now here's the thing. This one gunman here.
Yes.
He knocks down 37.
Yes.
Right? He had an AK, right?
Yes.
We get Dumb and Dumber going into Charleston there, and he only gets 9. See, now they know how to do it in Tunis. Well, a lone gunman armed with an AK-47 killed 37 people, mostly tourists, today in an attack at a beach resort in Tunisia. At least 36 people were wounded, and the shooter was killed, finally, by security forces. The Interior Ministry initially said that at least 2 gunmen were involved, but revised its report as investigators studied the chaotic scene. Security officials said the attacker had posed as a swimmer, but they thought it was a little odd that he had a AK-47 and a bunch of magazines stuck in his Speedo. Witnesses said the bodies were strewn in the sand along the beach chairs as the killers opened fire on... What do you mean killers? No, killer opened fire on the sunbathers in the resort town of Sousse. The attack began at the Imperial Marhaba Hotel, says Ministry of the Interior spokesman Mohammed Ali Laroui. A terrorist infiltrated the buildings from the back before opening fire on the residents of the hotel, including foreigners and Tunisians, he said. He said the gunman was killed during the fire exchange with security forces. Sousse, a popular vacation spot for European tourists, is located about 90 miles southeast of the capital of Tunis. There was a mass exodus off the beach. No, really? Yes, says British tourist Gary Pine, telling Sky News, adding that his son saw someone who got shot. He said guests at the hotel were first told to lock themselves in their rooms and later to gather in the lobby. Elizabeth O'Brien, a tourist from Dublin, told Ireland's RTE News at 1 that at first she thought she heard fireworks going off, but then realized the sound was gunfire. I ran to see my children and grabbed our things, and I was running towards the hotel, and waiters and security on the beach started shouting, "Run, run, run," she said. Well, we ran to our room, which is like a little bungalow, so we were actually trapped in our room because we have no contact. The phone there doesn't work to call reception. Nice hotel. Yeah, honey, get on the phone, get us some room service up here. I'm starving like a bitch. Oh, I'm sorry, dear. This resort is like, we got it with food stamps. We don't actually get room service.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the Imperial Marhaba Hotel is owned by Spain's RIU Hotels and Resorts, which has more than 100 hotels in 19 countries. The company offered its condolences to the victims and their families. Spain's Interior Minister, Jorge Fernandez Diaz, meanwhile, raised his country's terror alert level to 4 on a scale from 1 to 5. Yeah, see, all this is going on, and what are we doing here? Oh, let's celebrate gay marriage. A British tourist, Alan Callahan, told the BBC that guests at his hotel were taking shelter in the quarters of the hotel's staff and were being told to wait for an all clear. Another British tourist told Sky News he was in the swimming pool when he heard quite a large explosion, and guests began running back towards the hotel from the beach. I guess the whole thing plays out a little differently when you're cowering like a bitch underwater. Well, the Tunisian security forces have been on alert since March when 2 Tunisian gunmen opened fire in the Bardo Museum in Tunis, killing 21 tourists and policemen. The 2 gunmen were also killed in the attack. But it seems to be the thing of choice these days. You know, it used to be, well, you know, let's mail some anthrax. Let's mail some bioterror. Oh, no, wait, that's the U.S. government. You know, but now it seems to be the thing of choice is AKs and Speedos.
Yes.
So there you go. Wherever you are, you keep an eye out on those beaches and pools today. Well, moving along today. Right. Okay, fine. She's telling me we got to go for another freaking commercial.
Break for a commercial.
No, thank you, boss. All right, so we'll go for another commercial, but don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to tell you about the Friday attacks actually may be coordinated, but not centrally directed. That could be important. Back in 2.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions, abundant with rich, fertile soil? What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness, then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it? Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons, always fresh, always great tasting coffee.
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce Dryer Bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Old Spice body spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like power.
Yeah, I do. Power! Power!
I stood outside assessing the situation. I knew it could be rough in there, but how rough, there was no way to know for sure.
Hey, guys.
Daddy, it's pink!
But hey, a new house, it's a blank canvas, and we got a great one, thanks to a really low mortgage rate from Navy Federal Credit Union.
Pink?
So she's a princess. You got a problem with that?
Hoorah! Hoorah!
4 million members, 4 million stories. Navy Federal Credit Union.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, Pop-Up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandra, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I've been so inspired by being in New York because everything from what people are wearing on the street to the way they're interacting with each other, to drive through the West Village at night and you see a couple kissing on the street, or you see someone fighting outside their apartment, or you see so much humanity on a daily basis that even if you're not inspired by your own life that day, you can be inspired by someone else's life.
You got that long hair, slick back, white t-shirt, and I got that good girl face and a tight little skirt. And when we go crashing down, we come back every time, 'cause we never go out of style. We never go out of style. Take me
There's only one place to get more Taylor.
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Here's Jerry Lewis directing Hervé Village. Hervé, can you act with the realistic person acting? Yes, Mr. Lewis. In France, we admire you. Oh, thank you, you short midget person. We do not like that midget. Oh, I'm sorry, little person with the thing.
Oh boy, you know you always have a way to bring us back. You just did.
And here's Hervé Villages in Centavon.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Oh, your name is Daphne, 'cause I smell the perfume and I hear the southern accent. Did you just salute to me, even though I'm blind?
Oh man. Well, you know, thank you. That's just
You know, I'm the most talented guy in this room.
Yeah. That's good. Thank you.
The music is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you got to hear it.
Yeah, we're with you, Louie. We're right there. We're gonna hold on to your hand. Go into the light, Louie. Well, welcome back to the big show. Of course, your coffee and cigarettes. Friday Frappacino for this 26th of June, 2015. 79 degrees, New York City's Central Park right now under sunny/cloudy/sunny skies. Yeah. Oh man, there you go. We're into our we're past the 90-minute mark and we're still alive. So that's a I don't know. Is that a I don't know what that is.
Same thing.
Is it the same thing? Okay. All right, well, we'll leave it at the same thing. Welcome back to the show, of course, and, we're going on with our, of course, continuing coverage of the gay celebrations. But, of course, we're also throwing in a little terrorism for fun.
Yes.
You know, you gotta throw in the terrorism for fun. Yeah.
They get crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
The terrorists or the gay people? I don't know. I don't know.
My film, Unrepented, did very well in Europe.
Well, it did, but don't count on it doing any more. The Europeans will all be dead by the time you get another movie out. That's right. And moving on today, of course, those Friday attacks may be loosely coordinated, but not centrally directed? Oh, well, U.S. officials, of course, say that they have seen no evidence yet to suggest that a series of deadly attacks across 3 continents today are linked. They're just too damn busy with the gay celebrations. They say if it's official at this point, it's too soon to tell whether or not these various far-flung attacks are coordinated centrally or whether or not they were coincidental, says Army Colonel Steve Warren, a Pentagon spokesman. We are continuing to look into this, he says, with the Mai Tais on the beach with the gays. Well, in Tunisia, of course, that gunman killed 37 people, mostly tourists, at a seaside resort. In Kuwait, an Islamic State suicide bomber killed at least another 25 people at a Shiite mosque. And in France, a man was decapitated at a U.S.-owned gas factory, and his head was found on a post. Well, analysts say the attacks have not been centrally directed, but were likely loosely coordinated among jihadist groups such as Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State, which share similar goals of attacking Western and Shiite Muslim targets. Actually, if this gay rights stuff keeps up, I might join them. I might. Well, the groups may have been planning attacks separately and agreed among themselves to launch them on the same day, says Rick Nelson, an analyst at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. That's just organizations with a common goal loosely operating together to achieve a greater effect, Nelson said. It's what you have here. Wait a minute. That could be the same thing could be said about the gay marriage proponents. Yeah. Well, we do know that ISIL encourages lone wolf attacks, says Colonel Patrick Ryder, a spokesman for U.S. Central Command, which oversees operations in the Middle East. A number of jihadist groups around the world have rebranded themselves under an Islamic State banner because they see the group as overtaking Al-Qaeda as the premier global terror group. That's right. We are your number one global terror group. There you go. Yes, for car bombs and death to infidels, there's only one. Well, in a video released today, the Islamic State called on supporters to increase attacks during Ramadan, the Muslim holy month, and be keen on waging invasion in this eminent month and commit martyrdom, the Associated Press reported. Homeland Security Secretary what is it? J? Really? G-E-H? J? Hey, how's it going, man? It's J. Yeah, well, J. Johnson, of course, encouraged Americans not to be intimidated by the attack, so we continue to encourage all Americans to attend public events and celebrate gayness all over the country. But he did add, always remain vigilant, he said in a statement. President Obama is being briefed on the events throughout the day as he is down in his skivvies at the pool. Presidential Secretary Eric Schultz told us today. Yeah. Yes, obviously these are unfolding circumstances happening in real time, Schultz said of Obama's penis. Really? I didn't know he was circumstanted. Well, Schultz told reporters aboard Air Force One en route to Charleston, South Carolina, where Obama was to deliver a eulogy for Reverend Clementa Pinckney. Schultz said national security staff members are in touch with their counterparts in their respective countries and continue to offer help and assistance. Well, actually, what they're doing is yakking to them on the cell phone, getting the latest gossip. But okay. All right. Well, and Obama did appear, of course, to deliver that eulogy today, just before he went down to the pool.
Yes.
And what did he say? What zingers do you think he had for us today? Oh, yes. Well, let me tell you. Yeah. Yes, Obama says, quote, God has let us see where we've been blind. Praise Allah. Well, in Charleston, South Carolina today, of course, paying tribute to the 9 African Americans who lost their lives in a church shooting last week, President Obama said Friday their deaths should inspire Americans to finally confront the challenges of gun violence and race relations. Yeah, absolutely. I think we should outlaw race relations. Get them the hell out of here. Separatism. Well, as a nation, out of terrible tragedy, God has visited grace upon us, Obama told some 5,000 congregants at the funeral for the church pastor. For he has allowed us to see where we've been blind. See, he's referencing Muhammad right here. Everybody knows, and Hillary Clinton will attest, of course, that, our Christian God is a woman. Well, on issues ranging from the Confederate flag to voting rights to hiring practices, the nation can do no better job of living up to its creed of equal opportunity, said the nation's first African-American president. I'm not just a token and a tool. I'm here. I'm actually doing it. I'm the president. Yeah. Well, as a bipartisan group of lawmakers looked on, Obama again called for more legislation to restrict the availability of guns that have taken so many lives. Mr. President, what about all the Hyundais that have driven them there to take so many lives? That's it, I'm telling you. We need to ban the Hyundais right across the country.
Bullshitters, never keep your mouth shut, always hustling, always looking for something to do and putting things together. That's a American. Look how they took the country away from England.
Yeah, well, we don't... England. I don't know about England. England is all owned by the Muslims now anyway. What the hell do you want to be there for anyway? Well, it would be a betrayal of the victims' memories if we allowed ourselves to slip into a comfortable silence again, Obama said during remarks that combined spirituality with a bracing discussion of political and social issues. Man, he's intelligent. I like how he does that. Yes, delivering the eulogy for Reverend Clementa Pinckney, Obama praised the shooting victims, their families, and people across the nation for coming together in the face of a hateful crime. Actually, what it actually was, Gilbert?
Yes.
It was just the Dumb and Dumber guy, that roof guy.
Yes.
He just got his week screwed up. He was supposed to strike today with the rest of the terrorists. See, he just got the days screwed up, so now he's a racist instead of a terrorist. Yeah. The killer thought he would deepen divisions between the races, Obama said. That was his goal. Yes. The crowd of some 5,000 cheered and applauded, of course. Oh, but God works in mysterious ways, Obama said. Yes, he does, like making you president. Well, devoting his remarks to the power of grace, a preacher like Obama ended the leading the crowd in a rendition of Amazing Grace. The following speaker described him as the, quote, this'll go to my grave now. Once you've heard it, you can't unhear it. The Reverend President. Yeah, next the little idiot will be going out blessing people.
Yes.
Do not, under any circumstances, feed that little 90-pound bone rack any ego. Don't do it.
That was a mistake on my part.
Oh, really? You called the president up and he you just inflated his ego and all that stuff? Really, Louis? Oh, wait a minute. What am I saying? Yeah, I can see you doing that.
He called me, and he called me. He kept calling me, and I wouldn't answer the phone.
Yeah. Well, I guess ultimately you did, didn't you? Yeah. Well, in terms of race relations, Obama said, people should guard against not just racial slurs, but also the subtle impulse to call Johnny back for a job interview, but not Jamal. Oh, Mr. President. See, you probably didn't get the memo, but Johnny's American. Jamal is not. Yes, and as for gun violence, Obama said, oh yes, for too long we've been blind to the unique mayhem that gun violence inflicts upon this nation. Why don't they get that? Why don't they? I don't understand why don't they get this? I've done a test on gun safety. I've done many tests on them. It always involves a person picking it up and pulling the trigger at some shit. I actually did a test, a couple of years ago, Gilbert, wasn't it? I did a test, actually on Crash Talk, my other radio show there on Tuesday nights.
Yes.
And I did that. One show like 3 years ago, I pulled my sidearm out and I loaded her up and I set it on the desk.
Yes.
And I let it sit there for over a year.
Yes.
And there were many days I would come into my office and it's sitting there and I would talk to it. I would tell it, go ahead, kill something. Come on. And do you know what?
Yes.
Do you know what? After that entire year, and it was about a year and 3 months.
Yes.
And then, of course, I did the follow-up show on Crash Talk there where, of course, I reported the results of my findings.
Yes.
And in each and every case, through every one of those days, through that entire year and 3 months, it always, bottom line, ended up being that the gun didn't kill anybody. So, Mr. Obama, I guess you maybe didn't catch that show.
Yes.
Okay. So that's fair enough. We'll give him that.
Yes.
But, for the love of God, sir, we've got to ban the Hyundais. We've got to... Well, speaking at a college basketball arena just a block from Emmanuel AME Church, Obama also praised the plans of South Carolina lawmakers to remove that distraction Confederate battle flag. Yes, remove it from the State House grounds, he says, calling it another act of grace. Right, you frickin'... Well, while it is true that the flag did not cause these murders... Obama said it's also a reminder of a systematic oppression and racial subjugation. He just said it, right?
Yes.
Look, it's true that the flag didn't cause these murders. Well, then, asshole, how did the guns? Well, as First Lady Michelle Obama and Vice President Joe Biden...
Yes.
And other dignitaries, of course, looked on. Obama traced I don't know what the hell this woman's name was. I'm just going to go with ting 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 ting. Obama traced Reverend Pinky's life as a man of the cloth. Oh, okay, it's a man. I thought it was a woman.
Yes.
Yes, it traced the life as the man of the cloth and a state senator, lauding him as a good man who was slain in his sanctuary. Yeah, let's look back through some of those Senate records. Yeah, good man who opposed just about everything you do. Well, Obama also read the names of the, quote, good people who died with their pastor. Cynthia Hurd, Susie Jackson, Ethel Lance, DePayne Middleton, Dr. Twanza Sanders, Daniel L. Simmons, Sharonda Coleman Singleton, and Myra Thompson. The nation shares in your grief, Obama told family members with whom he met after the service. The pain cuts much deeper because the killings occurred in a church, traditionally the center of African American life. I guess he doesn't know anything about the gangs either. You want to talk about tradition in the center of African American life, yo. Let me see now. Let's be fair here. Looking up statistically, if I remember correctly, the absolute center of African American life in America is something called the crack house. But what do I know? I'm just a dumb white Irish guy from New York. I don't know nothing. Well, a bipartisan congressional delegation has also made the journey to Charleston, led by House Speaker John Boehner. Oh, I bet you he's popular on Gay Day today. Yes, Boehner, of course, who flew in with Obama aboard Air Force One to kind of skirt around the homosexuals. Well, he says lawmakers want to pay our respects to the families of the victims and express the condolences of the American people. Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, oh, Christ. Well, she also attended, receiving cheers and a standing ovation from the black crowd, which seems strange because she's white. Well, the world has come to you to South Carolina, one speaker said during a ceremony that featured preaching, music, hymns, and spirituals. As dawn broke today, hundreds of people began lining up along Charleston's Meeting Street near the basketball arena that hosted the service today, as scores of security officers scoured the area. I've never seen a crowd like this line up for anything in Charleston, says Tasha Mosley, 42, a businesswoman who lives in the city. They are coming here not only to show their love and respect for Rev Pinky, she said, it's also history. Our first African-American president is here. Yes, he's here on the eve of not being here anymore.
Yes.
Well, the crowd packed the 5,100-seat Toronto Dominion Arena at the College of Charleston as a choir sang hymns like Amazing Grace and The Lord Is My Light. They repeatedly stood and cheered mentions of the Rev Pinky. And I'm sorry, I keep thinking Pinky and the Brain. Pinky and the Brain. Yes, Reverend Pinky and the other church members who lost their lives. The June 17th crime stunned the nation. Oh, yeah, I remember June 17th like it was yesterday, like it was the Kennedy assassination. I was just stunned. Are you killing me? Are you killing me, really? Yes. Really? The day the earth stood still? Is that what you want us to believe? Really? Oh, yes, it stunned the nation that has seen its share of racial killings, of course. Public anger rose with discovery of a website on which the accused assailant declared himself a white supremacist and, quite conveniently posted pictures posing with Confederate battle flags. Well, that accused freaking idiot... Yes, Mr. Dylan Aroof there has been charged, of course, with 9 counts of murder and could face the death penalty, yada, yada, yada. Given the public interest, the funeral service for Reverend Pinky, the state senator, as well as pastor of the Emmanuel AME Church, was moved to the college arena right around the corner from the house of worship. Police and security officers combed the area Thursday, preparing for the visit by the president and a host of federal and state officials. Obama has spoken of the nation's long-standing racial divisions before, on occasions ranging from the police shooting of a black teenager to the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights March and, of course, the movie Selma. Well, he's had 2 basic messages. The nation, once divided over slavery, was made undeniable progress in race relations over the years, but there's still a long way to go. When it comes to the pursuit of justice, we can afford neither complacency nor despair, Obama said on March 7th at the Selma film promo. Well, this time Obama spoke in a city of vivid cultural contrasts. Yes, Charleston is where slave ships once unloaded human cargo and where delegates to a special South Carolina convention voted in December of 1860 to secede from the Union, helping to trigger the Civil War. Does Obama know that it was the black people in Africa that were selling their own people to those slavers? Maybe he didn't get that memo.
Yes.
Well, today it's a city of antebellum homes and world-class restaurants, a racially diverse area where blacks and whites have gathered throughout the week to condemn the church killings. While Roof reportedly wanted to start a, quote, race war, the church the church attack has triggered a political backlash against that evil, evil, evil Confederate battle flag. Well, lawmakers in South Carolina have called for removal of the flag, of course, from the State House grounds in Columbia, where the similar calls about Confederate statues and memorials in other states as well. Numerous outlets have stopped selling Confederate memorabilia, except for eBay and Amazon. They say business is booming. Well, references to the proposed furling of the Confederate flag drew loud applause at Reverend Pinky's funeral service. The National Park Service is also calling on concessionaries to stop selling Confederate flags and related items, a request that presumably includes Fort Sumter, where the Civil War began and which sits in Charleston Harbor. During the funeral service, Bishop John Richard Bryant said the killer did not understand that people's faith in God would enable them to overcome anger over his actions. Really? Will it help me overcome the anger for gay marriage? I don't know. See, I'm not a religious man.
Yes.
I don't frickin' know. Hail Satan.
Yeah.
Well, someone should have told the young man, Bryant said, he wanted to start a race war, but he came to the wrong place, mother effer. Well, here we go. Jenny just threw something a little bit kind of fun in front of me here.
Yes.
And it's not her two titties. Yeah, she's put together the best zingers from the Supreme Court's gay marriage dissent.
Yes.
Oh. Oh, that's nice, you little bitch. You're fired. Oh, and right here, now they're saying that gay marriage, of course, isn't what they just said 25 minutes ago, an issue that, Americans by majority now, of course, support gay marriage.
Yes.
Yeah, headline on this one, just hot off the presses here. Gay marriage, an issue that deeply divides America. Also deeply divides the Supreme Court justices, and the divide was abundantly clear today in the dissent written by Justice Anton Scalia. The High Court ruled, of course, 5-4 today, legalized the same-sex marriage across the USA. Justice Anthony Kennedy wrote an opinion. Scalia was not impressed. Take a scroll here through some of the insults going down. Brad Heath is tweeting, Scalia is really dumping on Kennedy's writing, compares it to a fortune cookie. I would hide my head in a bag. Oh, that's just great. Jenny, your dog is going nuts again. Well, actually, in Scalia's SCOTUS marriage dissent, Kennedy is not a genuine Westerner because California does not count. Brad's retarded. Okay. Brad Heath goes on, Scalia's dissent is unusually bitter even for him. Majority's result does not deserve to be called a democracy. I don't think Brad's actually awake for this. I don't think he's there. Thomas S. Kidd, of course, on Twitter writes, my favorite Scalia line, quote, one would think freedom of intimacy is abridged rather than expanded by marriage. Ask the nearest hippie. Oh, yes. There it is. Wow, that's great, Jenny. Yeah, that took a whole 2 minutes. What the hell is that? Well, don't worry. I got some more time to go here. It's not goddamn 5 o'clock yet. That's right. And how about some New York killer news? Well, that's right. We do have more New York killer news, of course. The police now saying that escaped New York inmates likely headed towards Canada. What the hell is wrong? Why don't they just listen to this show?
Yes.
I'd have this all figured out.
Bullshitters, never keep your mouth shut. Always hustling, always looking for something to do and putting things together. That's a fucking American.
Yeah, we know. We know. But you see, that's the thing, Gilbert. I don't get it. You know, why don't they listen to me? What did I say, 2 weeks ago when they escaped? Okay, they're going to go down to Texas. They're going to drink beer. Right. You know, clearly they've never really, you know, as law enforcement looking for these guys, they have never, not once, ever done what the FBI says is rule number one.
Yes.
What is that rule number one? You put yourself in their shoes.
Yes.
If you were serving life for cutting your boss's head off.
Yes.
If you're serving all these long stretches and you actually escape from this place.
Yes.
They say they're headed towards Canada. Free people in their straight minds don't head to Canada. Why are you? You know. Yeah, sure, Canada. Yeah, well. Oh wait, we've got this just in from a Texas reporter, Sharon Chesley.
Yes.
She says that one of her friends there just posted that one of them was shot and killed. Yeah, see? In Texas. I said it. Right there. There it is. Shot and killed in Texas. I bet you with a bottle of beer in his hand. Right there. Well, the New York State Police said today they're closing in on the pair of escaped inmates and have a high degree of confidence that they're headed towards the Canadian border, traveling primarily at night and crawling across the forest floor like little wolves. Oh, Major Charles Guest, Troop B commander of the New York State Police. Yes, the man who coined the term, well, it's anybody's guess. I don't know. Well, he says today that evidence found today at a campsite in a field Friday prompted officers to concentrate their search north and west of the town of Malone, New York, 10 miles south of the Canadian border. Guess, of course, would not discuss the nature of the latest evidence. You know, it's funny. This guy has been in the news every single day.
Yes.
Every national news, topping the name. There he is, Major Charles Guest.
Yes.
And each and every single time, well, I'm not going to discuss the nature of the latest evidence. You know, and that's what I don't get. You know, like I said back in the beginning when these guys first escaped, I said they might as well come and interview Gilbert. He knows as much as they do. Well, Guest would not discover the nature of the latest evidence, of course, but called it significant based on what we know. We have a high degree of confidence in our conclusions, he said. And how about that gay marriage thing? Yes, when asked about the gay marriage, he said, who'd have guessed? Well, you just wait for it there, Mr. Guess. You won't be guessing for long. They'll be all over you. Well, Malone, with a population of about 15,000 people, is located in rugged mountainous terrain in Franklin County. Guest said 1,100 officers, local, state, and federal, are involved in searching what he called rugged, tenacious forests and mountains. He said the weather has been hard on the inmates as on the officers looking for them. And yes, they indeed did bring in again today Tommy Lee Jones. Well, of course, the two killers, David Sweat, 35, and Richard Matt, 49, you remember them. They're the ones that gangbanged that chick in the laundry room. Well, they escaped from the maximum security Clinton Correctional Facility in Danmore, New York on June 6th by cutting through a metal wall, some steel-reinforced pipes and tunnels, and then crawling from a manhole outside the prison. Malone is about 30 miles northeast of the prison. Sweat was serving a life sentence without parole for killing a sheriff's deputy. Matt was doing 25 years to life for the 97 kidnapping, torture, and hacksaw dismemberment of his former boss. And of course, Guest there said that the two men still appeared to be traveling together and had taken basic supplies from a cabin and dropped some items during their trek. He said that they were traveling primarily at night. He said searchers are able to scour the area widely during the day, but also have an equal presence at night to spot them, presumably through heat detection and infrared devices. You know, why is it that the ghost hunter reality TV shows can find shit, but these guys can't? Why is that? We got the... Oh, yeah. Well, could be. I'll get right on that. Yeah. Oh, really? All right. Yeah. Really? Yeah. Okay. Right. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, that message was brought to you by Tim Hortons, New York City. Yeah. I don't see her. I think Jenny's having some sort of, I don't know, epileptic seizure or something. It's these marathon shows. She just can't handle them.
Yes.
Like I say, and you and I and Louie there. Well, Louie's probably freaking asleep too. Well, that was great. I don't know what the hell just came out of the PreSonus digital mixer there, but it was ugly. Anyway, yeah, I guess he's now confident they're going to find him, and Sharon says that one of them's shot dead in Texas with a beer bottle. And, oh, there it is. And is that the end of our show today?
Yes.
No, idiot. I'm crazy. Nobody loves me anymore. Yeah,
They get crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
That's right. Nobody loves me, so I'm just going to keep on going. Yes, and what story would you think? Stop and think about it a minute, Gilbert.
Yes.
We've covered the groundbreaking history, homosexual marriage. We've covered that. We've covered terrorism.
Yes.
We've covered funerals for race wars. We've covered it all today. What could he possibly bring to the table now? 2 hours and 7 minutes into the show.
Yes.
Well, more torture. Yes, and it's not ISIS torture or anything else. No, it's the torture of every one of you Americans in the Northwest. Yes, it is. It is, and it's coming. Record-breaking heat to scorch the Northwest. Yes, it is. The first heat wave of the year is forecast to hit much of the northwestern U.S. this weekend. And many cities across the region will see 100-degree temperatures for the first time this season. So says AccuWeather. Record high temperatures will be challenged or broken this weekend in cities such as Seattle, Portland, Boise, Reno, and Salt Lake City. This heat wave may not only top daily record highs, but also threaten record highs for the entire month of June, or in a few locations, all-time record highs, says the Weather Channel. Heat advisories are in place in several states, including Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and Montana. Excessive heat warnings, the highest heat warning issued by the National Weather Service, is in place in Seattle and Portland. In Portland, the Weather Service warned heat exhaustion and heat stroke can be dangerous in a tweet. Well, of course, the Northwest deals with the intense heat for the first time this year. The heat will continue in much of the Southwest and California. There's already been hot for several weeks, unsurprisingly. Death Valley, California, is forecast to hit a sizzling 121 degrees on Saturday. The blistering heat will also make life miserable for firefighters battling the region's numerous wildfires. As of today, There were 15 large wildfires across the West, according to National Interagency Fire Center in Boise. One of the biggest currently burning in the lower 48 is the 25,600-acre wildfire burning in the San Bernardino National Forest south of Big Bear Lake in California. AccuWeather said that it's known as Lake Fire. Oh, really? We're going to do... Really? Jenny, wake the Christ up. What are you doing? God, I think our PreSonus is busted.
Yes.
Yes, known as Lake Fire, the blaze about 90 miles east of Los Angeles has consumed some 40 square miles, nearly a quarter of that in the last 2 days, says the Associated Press. The nation's total acreage burned so far this year has topped 1 million acres this week. This includes many fires in Alaska, which is where the bulk of the USA's wildfires are, of course, burning. While the western U.S. deals with heat and fires, parts of the east will see very soggy Saturday. Flood watches are in place in the Ohio Valley along the portions of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast due to the predicted heavy soaking in rains that's a-coming. And so there you go. And you know what? I got to say something to the Northwest there.
Yes.
Texas, 122 a couple of weeks ago, Crimea River. Who cares? Just screw that shit.
Yes.
What are we doing? Well, what are we doing? Well, we're wrapping up 2 hours and 15 minutes of nothing but funk. That's right. Said it before. I'll say it again. You just can't stop the funk.
Yes.
There we go. So, there is the music. Louie, if you're still awake, thanks for being here. It's great having you here today.
$88,000 a year they make, approximately average, 80s,
Right.
let's say.
Sure.
And there's 1,000. That's $88 million a year that we're paying as taxpayers.
Well, yeah, but we have to because it's the fires and gay marriage. Right. So don't worry, we've got to pay it. You can't stop the funk.
That was a mistake on my part.
Really? Yeah, never try and stop the funk. No. No, and of course, Gilbert, great having you as well, too. Thank you for taking up about an hour with just laughing. That was good. But, every day, my friend, you make my job easier.
Yes.
Yes. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for listening and support the show for the love of God.
You didn't have to be that adamant. You didn't have to be that adamant. But thanks all the same, and good luck out in the streets there tonight. Don't get gang raped by homosexuals. That's right. And, of course, to the rest of you out there in listener land, hey, thanks for listening to us. iHeart, iTunes, Spreaker.com, Stitcher, Podcast One, Universal Radio coming up. There's so many places to get this wholesome goodness. You just can't get it anywhere else. Wait a minute. Yeah. All those 20 places I just listed. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, all of you guys out there in listener land, hey, have yourselves one hell of a great weekend. Try not to kill any homosexuals or black people. And remember, if you do, blame your car.
Yes.
It's you. Yeah, it's the Hyundai that made me do it, officer. That's right. So you guys have fun. We're going to go play some Frisbee tag tomorrow in Central Park and hope we don't start a race war. So everybody out there, have a great weekend. We'll catch you Monday for the Monday Mocha, 3 p.m. Eastern. We're out of here.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.